The world of video games never stops moving, and every month there is a whole bunch of new games to pay attention to. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, the top 10 new games of May 2024. Starting off with number 10, it's Prison Architect 2, the update to the original game, which was a 2D game that takes it into 3D, retains all the aesthetics and ideas. It's a pretty darn good upgrade as far as I'm concerned. I really enjoy, like, the hospital, the theme park, the blankety-blank sims, the management stuff. And the original Prison Architect is a pretty damn good game. Some of the things that look particularly cool are just how you're going to be able to experience a lot of the things. There are just certain limitations in 2D that aren't there in 3D. And I think some of the views alone warrant an upgrade to Prison Architect 2. But there's also a lot of other upgrades, particularly to the AI of the inmates who are obviously always trying to escape. Prison Architect 2 is coming on May 7th to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. I think it's going to be a blast. At number 9 is Homeworld 3, a real-time strategy game. Obviously, that is an understatement. Homeworld is quite an involved prospect, and it looks like we're getting even more involved here. First off, you have everything that you normally would get with Homeworld. Then you've also got these huge, what they're calling megaliths. I'm going to say Death Star-like huge things. I'm kind of excited to have that aspect of it involved. But also, there's a co-op mode being added that incorporates elements of roguelikes. Now, I'm not really sure how. I'll say this, I haven't had any time with this game or anything, but I'm intrigued by that. I like the idea of co-op in Homeworld, and I like roguelikes. While there is a prequel in development, this is just a traditional sequel. It takes place, I think, something like 100 years after the last one. But in all seriousness, the story itself isn't the reason I'm playing Homeworld. These are really well-made real-time strategy / space sim. I really like the other Homeworld games. I'm definitely looking forward to the third. It's landing on PC May 13th. At number 8 is INDIKA, this very strange game. It's basically, you're a nun, and Satan's bugging you. There is no combat. There's some very, very video gamey stuff that contrasts with the 19th century Russia setting a great deal. It is a really interesting game. I don't know exactly how it starts. There is a demo that I don't think really explains anything to you. It seems to start a ways into the game, but this one is kind of, it's exciting to me because it's not really anything like anything else I can think of, at least immediately. I have some minor ideas in terms of its influences, but I also have a feeling that it's going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. It is one I am absolutely playing. I'm extremely excited for this game. It's just so weird. I mean, it's in some ways kind of an escort mission with the devil, like you're escorting the devil through a bunch of stuff. It's a weird game, and I really think that it's interesting. I think you should give the demo a spin. The full game is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC on May 2nd. At number 7 is the Rogue Prince of Persia. I guess we're getting more Prince of Persia. Like a week or so ago, at least at the time of this recording, we were given the announcement that there is a new Prince of Persia game coming very soon from the developers of Dead Cells, Evil Empire. And hell yes, absolutely. That's yes, I'll take more of this new kind of Prince of Persia stuff you're doing. Now, Evil Empire did work alongside the Ubisoft internal Montreal devs to make sure that they were giving a different enough experience that another game is justified, and I like that. That makes me very happy. But what I particularly like is it's a game kind of in the style of The Lost Crown, but it's a roguelike. You know, like Dead Cells. You know, like Evil Empire knows like the back of their hand. To be frank, everything I've seen in the trailer looks quite cool. Very different art style than The Lost Crown. I'm not sure which one I prefer yet, but if I'm completely honest, just knowing how much I love Dead Cells, and honestly, how much I enjoyed Lost Crown, I have a feeling this is going to be the superior game by my taste, but we'll see. The Rogue Prince of Persia is coming to PC on May 14th. At number 6 is Endless Ocean Luminous, which is a sequel to some games that I really just never thought there would be sequels to. The Endless Ocean games came out way back in the years 2007 and 8. They both came out on the Nintendo Wii, and it's one of those games that got kind of decent reviews when it came out, but I think it's found some kind of an audience over the last while. And in particular, it looks, although the original games are not particularly like, but it looks like Subnautica in some ways. Although it was split into levels, it was a different game. I think Subnautica is probably the reason that this sequel is happening, though. I think the developers probably sensed an opportunity. I think it was a smart choice, personally. However, it's more of a adventure simulation than a survival game, and I think people looking for another Subnautica probably won't exactly find it here. But I would also bet that they'll incorporate some features from Subnautica. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to see, and I will definitely be playing it when it comes out exclusively to the Switch May 2nd. At number 5 is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, a sequel to the original Paper Mario that came out back in 2004. This is a series that started as a sequel to Super Mario RPG and just kind of turned into its own thing. They ended up releasing it. Obviously has a very different aesthetic than Super Mario RPG, but of course it does also share some aspects in common. It is also a turn-based RPG, and The Thousand-Year Door continues that. And there are plenty of people that actually think Thousand-Year Door is the best Paper Mario, and a lot of the Paper Marios since have been criticized for taking out turn-based combat and stuff. Like, everybody kind of considers this to be the gold standard of Paper Mario, and I have to say I agree with that. This is a really good game, and the upgrades to the graphics that they've done, I do really like. I have seen a couple of spots where it seems like there's actually a little bit less detail than in the original, but it may be for clarity's sake as opposed to any kind of laziness. I'm not really sure yet. I think I'm going to have to play it in order to make that final judgment. But I am excited to play it again, and I absolutely will be when it comes out to the Switch May 23rd. At number 4 is World of Goo 2. I am a huge fan of World of Goo. I absolutely love World of Goo. To say the very least, I am excited that there is a sequel to this game coming out. It is insane that there is a sequel to this game coming out. The original World of Goo came out like 16 years ago, in 2008. I played the absolute hell out of that game. It is such a strange world that it establishes. It has weird lore and kind of an ominous tone to it, but at the same time, it's cutesy, and it's not over the top in either of those directions. It's just this great balance of cool visuals, a really great physics-based puzzle formula, and some really fun and tactile mechanics that make the game feel interesting pretty much all the time you're playing it. And they promise that this is going to be like a legitimate sequel. There's going to be a lot more mechanics added. For instance, there's one new type of goo ball, which instead of just simply straightforwardly working, it also sucks up puddles. I imagine there's probably quite a bit more. These guys are really creative. It's such a creative idea in game, and the execution was on par with its creativity. I'm really excited to play World of Goo 2. It's coming to the PC and the Nintendo Switch May 23rd. Moving on to number 3, it's Nine Souls, an action platformer with these incredibly beautiful hand-drawn graphics. Like, before we even talk about the game itself, the art is absolutely stunning. I love it when they go all in on full-blown hand-drawn. And I don't mean like pixel art. I do love pixel art, and in a way that is hand-drawn, but what I'm talking about here is beautiful, traditionally made art. We're talking about nice, smooth animation, great character design, great backgrounds. It's just a beautiful looking game. You could probably tell from the footage. But it's also just a legitimately really well put together game. There's currently a demo available for it on Steam if you're interested in checking it out. I would highly recommend it. What's there is very fun. At times, it's paced very differently than you might expect a game like this, and there's a plenty of story in it, which is, in my opinion, not really what I expected going in. I don't usually expect story in an action platformer, but there's actually plenty of it. The interesting idea here is that the combat is actually inspired by Sekiro, which it doesn't necessarily immediately look like it from any of the video you're looking at, but you feel it when you play it. It's very oriented towards deflection. I wouldn't necessarily say it's quite as tough, at least based on the demo, as Sekiro, but it's a hell of a game. from what I have played. I really enjoy it. Nine Souls is coming to PC, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch May 29th. At number 2 is Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. That's right, the jaw-droppingly gorgeous, incredibly fun, open-world Assassin's Creed in modern day done correctly, Ghost of Tsushima, is finally landing on the PC, and I can't tell you how happy I am. I like playing my games on the PC personally. Don't get me wrong. I'm all right with an Xbox or a PlayStation. I prefer them on the PC, and oh yes, I am going to install this on my PC. Now, the Director's Cut is nothing new. It came out a couple of years ago. We did it before you buy. Would definitely recommend checking that out. I think Jake did a pretty good job with it. We have additions of like ultra wide modes. If you've got a really wide monitor, that's cool. I mean, it's a fantastic game that should have been out on the PC long ago, finally landing on the PC. For me, there are zero things to complain about other than the fact it took this long. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is landing on PC May 16th. And finally, at number 1, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I don't know how to accurately describe how cool this game looks. Obviously, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is a great game. As far as I'm concerned, it's a really good narrative exploration of schizophrenia in a way you just don't see in video games, while also just being a good game. I don't think you can easily describe how much of a difference there are between the very good graphics of the original and they keep using this game as a tech demo graphics of Hellblade 2. I really can't wait to play this game and continue this story, but also I just can't wait to look at everything they've cooked up for this. It looks incredibly beautiful. The human animation is extremely realistic and cool. It's powered by Unreal. I'm super excited to play this for, like I said, all of those reasons, to continue this story, to see this world, to check out these graphics. It's gonna be good. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is coming to PC and Xbox Series on May 21st. Couple of bonus games here for you. First off, and I'm pretty happy to say this because it's basically the most insane sounding thing to anybody who actually played the original System Shock back in the day, but System Shock is coming to consoles. Now, I do have to say, a lot of the reason that's possible is because they modernized a lot of the ideas of System Shock, but it is still very much System Shock, and I'm actually kind of interested to see how some of it works out on consoles. It's not a game that was designed for consoles, so it'll be super interesting to see those adaptions and what kinds of compromises they're forced to make when it lands on the PlayStations and Xboxes on May 21st, and finally MotoGP 24, which is, of course, the next in a long line of motorcycle racing games. This one promises an unpredictable career more than anything else. Fans of that will most likely be excited for it. It's landing on the PlayStations, the Xboxes, Switch, and PC on May 2nd. F1 24, the 17th F1 game from EA. There's actually kind of an interesting story behind this. Codemasters actually got the rights to do F1, and EA hadn't done any F1 in a while, and EA bought Codemasters, and now, guess what? For the last couple of years, we've got F1 games from EA that are continuing the EA series, but are just, they're Codemasters games, and Codemasters is the king of this type of stuff. F1 23 was a well-received game, and I expect F1 24 to be as well. Little Kitty Big City, an adventure game. I'll just read the little description from the announcement trailer. You're a little kitty lost in the big city, and you need to find your way home urgently. In a way, it sounds a lot like Stray, but it's nothing like Stray. It's more cartoony looking. It's a little more oriented towards amusement, and it looks like an interesting idea. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch and PC on May 9th. That's all we've got for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon Hero. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.